Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Laurie, and I'm an MPA student here at Lincoln Memorial University. Our third presenter for the day is Mr. Brendan Kelley. Mr. Kelley is the Executive Director of the Gratiot Area Chamber of Commerce, and he's actually a graduate of the MPA program here at LMU. He's worked in the nonprofit sector for 13 years, focusing primarily on supporting small businesses, as well as community and economic development. He's here to talk to us today about best practices for supporting small businesses in rural areas. So without any further ado, please welcome Mr. Kelley.
All right, and I'll pause for applause here for a second. I assume you guys are applauding, give me applause at home. That's fine, thank you. I'm gonna share, thanks. Okay, can you guys see that? Do you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Let's see, share.
Your share screen. There we go.
There we go. All right. Supporting a rural economy. If you didn't know the title of this session, now you do. My name is Brendan Kelley. I'm the Executive Director of the Gratiot Area Chamber, as you all know, Chamber of Commerce. There's my contact information if you want to do a screenshot real quick in case you have any questions afterwards. I also put it in the chat once I'm done with my speech here. But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk with anybody about any subject matter regarding what I do here at the Chamber or anything else with my years of experience. So, or if you just want to talk about Dr. Atkins, that's fine too. So I want to start with there we go. I want to start with an overview of Gratiot County. As I was preparing this speech, I realized that there are a lot of similarities between Gratiot County and Claiborne County. I assume a lot of the people in the audience are at least familiar with Claiborne County, if not very familiar with Claiborne County. So our populations are roughly similar. We have about 10,000 people in you though, but our population density is about the same. So we just have a larger county. We definitely benefit from the geography of our county though. Flat, very flat. I think the only place flatter I've lived is when I lived on the plains of Montana. But we're able to utilize that by having a large agricultural industry here. The geography also allows us to prepare for industrial sites a lot quicker than find those industrial sites a lot quicker than mountainous Claiborne County there. Our college population, I just took these from the undergraduate populations of Alma College and Lincoln Memorial University. So I'm not including community college or anything like that. We have 1378 that attend Alma College here, and you all have 1975 that attend Lincoln Memorial, plus another 3,000 in the graduate programs at Lincoln Memorial University. But I assume that most of those are off the Harriet campus. And that's really important for a community as well, especially a rural community such as ours. I mean, that's a significant percentage of the population that is made up of students. And we, as somebody who works in economic development and community development, we love students. I'm looking right at the camera as I say it. And colleges, because there are multiple reasons why, but they have a lot of disposable income, which is great for our downtown businesses. You might not think it, you an undergrad right now might not think you do, but our business leaders in the downtown areas know how much they appreciate how much you all come in and buy coffee and sandwiches and whatever supplies you may need. Also, because of that population, the colleges tend to utilize local businesses for different events, for sports, for graduation, for other celebrations, for other conferences. Having a college in your community allows for more economic stimulus within the community. So unemployment rates roughly the same. We're 25th in Michigan right now for unemployment. I think though the unemployment rate numbers in Claiborne were a little older from what I could find, if I remember correctly. But then median household income, we're about $10,000 higher, but we have higher taxes here, of course. So it all works out in the wash, and from my perspective anyway, for definitely a very rural county. Major employers, the other thing I wanted to go over here, we have a lot of manufacturers within our community. Avalon and Tahoe Manufacturing, they produce Avalon pontoons and Tahoe pontoons. And if you ever, oh, you probably see that too. If you ever get to Norris Lake, look for an Avalon and Tahoe pontoons are probably the really fancy ones with double decker and a slide that goes down into the water and maybe 2 or 3 motors, depending on how fast you want to go on your pontoon, which doesn't make sense to me, but but yeah, they're the second largest, if I remember correctly, they're the second largest pontoon manufacturer in North America, which is saying something also because of all of Michigan, which is known for its lakes, we're the only county without a naturally occurring lake in our county. So it's kind of odd there. But we have 2 pontoon manufacturers along with Avalon Tahoe. We have Apex Marine. You wouldn't be a rural county if Walmart wasn't in your top 10 employers. We also have Meijer in there too, which is kind of like the Midwestern Walmart. And they're, believe it or not, they're right next to each other. So you have your choice. In close proximity. We are being in the middle of the Min. I'm going to hold this note right here. Yeah, that's right. We're right in the middle of the Min. So we're a great hub for, and we do that in Michigan, by the way, so you can do that too. We're a great hub for getting to, we're about 2 hours from everything within the Min, 2.5 hours from everything. Detroit, Traverse City, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, it's a Grand Rapids, and then all the coasts as well. So it makes it really convenient for manufacturers to set up shop, as well as utilities. So Consumers Energy has, which is our utility provider, one of the major utility providers in Michigan. They have their hub here with us, and they're very supportive of the chamber, which is fantastic. And go down manufacturers, and we do a lot in aerospace too. So if you have a good plane trip, you can thank that to the manufacturing here in Gratiot County. But also we have a huge public and nonprofit sector. I mean, if you look, our largest employer is, well, it's not called Mid-Michigan Health anymore. They rebranded. It's now called My Michigan Health, and it's the Alma Medical Center. But I mean, over 800 employees, that's massive for us. And we're the hub of that hospital system. And it's something that we're very proud of, especially considering, and we're very happy with, because people will come here for medical procedures instead of going to more advanced hospitals. This is really the jewel. Alma, Michigan is the jewel of the hospital system. So we do a lot of cancer work, and we take in a lot of heart patients. They're developing a new psych unit there as well. They keep reinvesting within that hospital, millions and millions of dollars. It seems like every 2 or 3 years there's a new project going on. So it's really nice to have that to help move money around and help boost the economy here in Gratiot County. We're blessed with a couple of correctional facilities from the state. Also, it's not, most counties maybe wouldn't say that, but it really does help support businesses through employing the citizens here at Gratiot County. Say what you will about the corrections system, but it is a big help for us for sure. We also do a lot with senior care. We have Masonic Pathways, which is focused. It's owned by the Masons here in Michigan, and they do a lot with senior care through their Pathways system. We have others as well, and then education. Alma College, I talked about the students coming in, but it's also really important to have those well-paid faculty and staff members who are a part of your community. So we appreciate you all being part of that. I'm sure in Claiborne it's the same as well. So we deal with issues of maintaining that those employees in the community, though. You look at Mid-Michigan Health, they have 800 employees, but I think only about 400 of them are actually members of our community. A lot of them travel from outside of the area, from Saginaw or Lansing, or even Mount Pleasant, which is the closest closest city to us anyway. So that's something to consider. That's something that we try to work on as a chamber. Oh, come on, no. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Okay, there we go. The mission of the chamber. So this is we'll start to dive into what we do as a chamber here. We advocate the partnership of business and community to preserve, enhance, and promote those unique qualities that make Gratiot County a great place to live, work, and visit. I just read to you what was on my slide, so I know that's kind of lame. You could have read it yourself, but I wanted to highlight the partnership of business and community. We really see, we really work to support the economy here in the county, but we also see the importance of supporting the community here in the county. And I'll get into that later, but I mean, the reality is that without a strong community is attractive to business within your community. And so we see the importance of holding community events like we have almost a half a century long event portrayed at the bottom called Rural Urban Day. We had about 1,000 people come through and get a steak fry dinner for really cheap, but we celebrate the farm of the year and the ag business of the year there. So providing events like that to support community engagement. There are a few partners that we have. I would say the most major of our stakeholders within the county that are not employers, Greater Gratiot Development Incorporated. That is our economic development corporation here in Gratiot County. If you're not familiar with what an economic development corporation or an economic development partnership does, I think that they're more often referred to that in the South. Those corporations essentially set the table to allow businesses to move in and grow within your community. They do all the sales work for industrial sites. They help municipalities in the county produce industrial sites. They do a lot of the research for businesses that want to expand. They work on issues of zoning within the county to help those expansions and issues of utilities. They are really kind of a jackknife all-in-one tool for businesses to be able to set here or grow here, and it's primarily funded by a millage tax that we've passed, and it's actually coming up again here, I believe in August. It's a 10-year millage that pays for their services, and so we're very fortunate because of them, we have one of the larger we probably have the largest concentration of manufacturers in Central Michigan. I'll go out there and on a limb and say it, sure. The other thing is the other people that we work, so we work with them because obviously we try to help those businesses grow. We try to help small businesses. So because if you have an attractive downtown, you have an attractive community, and we are able to help showcase our communities to those prospective clients and businesses that come in to the county. We also work on shared interests such as leadership development within the county and professional development within the county. Being a rural community, we don't have access to a university. We have the college here, but we don't necessarily have access to a university that can lead in those initiatives. So we take it upon ourselves to put those things together. Municipal and county governments, we do a lot of work to, well, first of all, we need them to help us with our events. They really provide the framework for us to be able to host large events within the downtown areas, especially, but all throughout the community. We also provide an opportunity for them. We also provide a service to them in terms of highlighting the progress that we've made, highlighting the strong economy and the strong community here. We have through our web and social media presence, through our annual community guides, a publication that we print, it's a magazine publication we print, which showcases the work that we do, not just that we do, but the community does. And it's almost a guide for people coming new to our community, whether you're visiting or moving here permanently. So we do a lot of that for them, and we also help out in terms of disseminating information to businesses and members of the chamber as well. So during COVID, that was a big thing. Whenever even things as small as street closures, we do a lot of that. The Small Business Development Center and the U.S. Small Business Administration, and more specifically the SBDC. I work with them very closely because they are the best resource I have for business, one-on-one business counseling with our members. It's a paid for service through the US government, and they will sit down and counsel new and existing businesses. They help with business, just sharing best practices with those businesses, whether you're a startup and you want to know how to, start to jump in with both feet, or if you are an existing business and you're looking for efficiencies and ways to reinvent and attract new customers. They have all of the market information you could possibly want also. And I always stress 2 or 3 times, it's a free service. So you're getting a lot of value for something that is absolutely paid for and free to you to use. So if anybody out there is interested in starting a business or knows somebody who's struggling with their business, go to your local SBDC. I'm sure there's one very close to you. And if you're in Gratiot County, I will direct you to it. So there are 3 chamber initiatives that we use to support the local economy. We use business education and support. We use events and promotion, and then encouraging community. We encourage community development. I kind of touched on some of this stuff. I'm going to go into detail here now. When my computer will let me. Oh, there we go. Nope. There we go. Okay, so there I am. Business development and networking. That is for many businesses, that's the primary value in being a chamber member. Being able to network and develop connections with other business owners as well as potential clients. We do this in a couple of ways. Business referrals groups with our network connections group. It's a group of about 13. Right now, it's about 13 business owners who get together once a month and share referrals with other members of the group. That's what they're there to do. It's a very efficient group, very to the point. But they, after their meeting's done each month, they go out and as they go about their daily business, they collect referrals and they're loyal to the members of that group. The other thing we do is business after hours networking events. This is also a great opportunity for businesses to connect. It's amazing the connections and the business that is done as a result of our networking events. You wouldn't ever think it, but I've seen some major deals happen in our little county thanks to the networking events where we just get together typically with drinks and food and socialize. And it's really, we do a business card raffle, which is a chintzy little raffle. I hate to say it if you're listening and you're part of the chamber. It's a fantastic raffle, but we just give away opportunities to speak to the folks, or we give away hats or beer koozies, or maybe a gift card, a chamber gift card. But yeah, it's a great way for connections to be made. We have some challenges with this, so it being a rural chamber. When you're in an ag community of only 40,000 people, chances are everyone feels like they know everyone that's already at those events, right? You grew up with those people, or if you didn't, you grew up with their cousins, or you know them from the fair, or you know them from sports, and so why would you go and do business with those people? Either you have a chip on your shoulder about it, or about that person, or you feel like you know that person well enough anyway to know, well, if they had something for me, they'd come and get me. Well, that's not necessarily the case, and the reality is that even if you're in a small community like ours, it's the fact of the matter is that people's lives progress, the opportunities still come very fast, and to be able to be present and be there, and for those people to have you on the forefront of their mind, whether with the work that you do, whether it's selling gas or propane, or providing construction services, engineering services, accounting services, banking services, whatever it is, we cover the gamut. To be at the forefront is invaluable when it comes to being able to get those referrals later on. And then work-life balance. In a rural community, I found that there is a high priority to the work-life balance, which is great, fantastic. I wish more communities would do this, but at the same time, that means you're prioritizing family opportunities over events like this. You know, why at 5 o'clock or 5:30, you don't want to go to a business after hours because your kid's got a baseball game or a softball game or a swim meet or scouting or whatever, or 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, if there's a meeting at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, like with our network connections group, you're dropping your kid off to school, or you might have something else going on with your family. So being able to, we have to do a lot to survey our members and make sure we're offering opportunities that are accessible to them. We have to do it maybe a little more than an urban chamber would, like in Knox County or something like that. But it's worth it if you can provide an opportunity where you can get a good amount of people and people take value out of that. So business development and other offerings, a small business assistance. I do a lot of one-on-one counseling, especially with startup businesses. I mean, we do have our SBDC, but the reality is that with startup businesses, a lot of folks just don't know where to go or what to do to really lay their foundation for their business. And so a lot of these counseling sessions are me just connecting them with those resources. Hey, you should go to the Small Business Development Center if you're having a hard time understanding your market. You should go to the city. There are a lot of opportunities with the city in which you want to host your business to find an ideal office space or storefront or restaurant space. A lot of the downtown development authorities within those cities will have a list of openings that are available. You know, I also have a list of chamber members who own downtown space, so to be able to provide that to them. Getting them in touch with preferred accountants or bookkeepers, just kind of getting them so that they don't feel like that everything is coming at them at once and they don't know where to start with anything, you know, setting a pace for them. I'm not a business counselor by trade, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, you know, and the reality is, and you'll hear me say this a couple of times, a lot of my job is getting people to the people who know more than I do. There are many people out there who know more. Most everybody knows more than I do out there. So that's a big part of my job. Emergency response is another part of my job. I especially threw that in there because of the COVID pandemic that we've been dealing with. When businesses shut down, especially storefronts and restaurants, there is a lot of information out there as well that I parse through as quick as I can and get it out in a simplified version to our business members. Good example for restaurants, there were a ton of opportunities out there for to apply for grants or any sort of economic incentives for restaurants to be able to maintain their employees, their employee base to get through this get through the pandemic. But the reality is that it may not, on the surface, it looks like you should apply for those grants, but maybe not every grant is available for those restaurants or retailers. And so trying to get through the nuts and bolts of the grants so I can say, if you've received this grant before, you're not qualified for the second round, or you only qualified for a certain amount of money. So don't plan on, you know, asking for the full 5,000 or 10,000. Plan on asking for that $2,500 because that's about all you're going to get. So helping businesses through emergencies like that. And then we provide an economic service as well. We have our Chamber Bucks gift certificate program. Really quick, it is a free to use for chamber members. There's no, we don't take any money out of the program. So you come in, you buy your gift certificate, you go and spend it at, I spend a lot of mine at Terry's Cycles here in Alma. We have a wonderful cycling shop here, and they come back to the chamber and they put down their chamber gift certificates, and we don't charge them anything to redeem them. So it's a cash in, cash out system for them. It costs us a little more to do, but we're able to find sponsorship. You know, with that program, we were able to find sponsorship to be able to so that we didn't have to eat the costs, and especially now with that going through our COVID emergency, there were a lot of people out there that wanted to make sure that these programs were still available. So thanks to Consumers Energy for taking on the sponsorship of our gift box program. lots of business education and support. I mentioned earlier that we have a shared interest with Gratiot Development in terms of professional development. We usually are the spearhead for those efforts with a lot of support from them. So our lunch and learn seminars, we do everything from SEO, search engine optimization, and web development, which is a big thing here. We did one at the beginning of the pandemic on how to bring your retail store online. There were, being in a rural community means that before the pandemic, there weren't a lot of people who were just selling online. So at least getting them onto the Facebook marketplace, onto Pinterest, not Pinterest, onto Etsy, excuse me, and then even working to develop their own shop. We've done a lot of these things. We do it with accounting, preparing for tax season, just a lot of different things that our small businesses especially are interested in. We, in my time here, we developed the Gratiot Young Professionals Network, which is a way for young professionals to develop a network and really take root in our community. We find that we lose a lot of our young professionals to the coasts, and we lose a lot of our professionals to the coasts and to more urban areas. And so by setting them up so that they can have this network, it really kind of allows them to both develop network of peers and develop friendships that they might not have had if they weren't from this community. And through that, we developed our leadership development workshop for the Gratiot Young Professionals Network. We're graduating our first class in April, which is really exciting. We worked with a Midwestern leader in professional development to develop our curriculum. And we're really excited to be able to do this on an annual basis. We have things like Connections Over Coffee. Our legislative initiatives are huge. We're a 501c6 organization instead of a 501c3, which means we can do a lot of political advocacy where other nonprofits are restricted. That being said, being a membership-driven organization in terms of our support, we tend not to try to step in it, so we advocate specifically on issues that broadly face our community, our county. That's issues of clean water, issues of utility and road repair. And we do a lot of utility, especially with end of the road broadband for rural communities to be able to develop our workforce starting in elementary school, stuff like that. And so we're the only entity in the county that provides our candidate forums for the elections. That's we do county, state, and federal races in those forums. We do them twice a year during the major elections. We also do topic forums as well. We partnered with Bridge Magazine, which is a big politically unbiased magazine within the state of Michigan, and we've held forums on those issues like roads, fixing the roads, and the state of the water in our county, just to kind of understand. It's more of an informational session than anything. And then we provide an e-newsletter. So if you don't come to those forums and you don't come to anything else, at least you'll be informed through our newsletter. Volunteers. So how do we do all those stuff? Like I said, I am the least knowledgeable person in the county, so I have to rely on all of the volunteers that want to make their community great and want to make the economy great here in Gratiot County. And we have a ton of folks we have that are able to do that stuff. I'm really proud of our legislative committee, our young professionals committee, all of the other events committees that we have. By volunteering, you develop connections and are present. Like I said, you're always at the forefront of the people who are most active in our community, which means those opportunities come to you first. You have a broader knowledge and connection to the community as well. It allows you to be in the know and make those connections yourself. I don't have to be the only one making connections to business developments and resources. And it's nice to have that sort of support through those participants. And then volunteers are an undervalued and underused resource. I used independent sectors 2020 numbers, but if you look at the value of a volunteer hour Michigan, we're at $26.93 per volunteer hour. Tennessee, or $24.52. We're both below the nationwide average. That's okay. They just don't appreciate us in Washington. But that's value. I mean, that is value you can use not only to impress your donors, but your grant, if you're grant writing as well. It makes you volunteers being able to put a number, a price to your volunteer hours and efforts shows the amount of support and the ability that not just a chamber but a nonprofit, the ability for them to make an impact on their local community. So I was talking about the need of volunteers. I was going over this a couple weeks ago, and I realized I run more than 35 events each year. I'm the point person for most of them, and so obviously I lean on volunteers to be able to do a lot of the work to help me out. But yeah, these are the events that we run in the 4 primary communities that we serve with throughout the county: Alma, Ithaca, St. Louis, and Breckenridge. We do a lot of the community events downtown to try to drive business downtown. My goal is through these events, to create a positive experience, an exciting experience through these events, so that next time you as an attendee are thinking about spending your money somewhere, you said, man, I had a great time in St. Louis at the North Mill Street Block Party. I really want to go back to that restaurant. I want to check out that store that had that funky storefront when the event was going on, or something like that. So that's the whole point of these events. We try to drive from within the county primarily at first, and that's our target, but then within the region as well. And we have, like I said, local promotion committees who help me organize these events. Man, those logos are pixelated. I'm sorry about that. We have 4 promotion committees that are made up of the primary. They were the original individual chambers of commerce for their communities, and so we're the organization that oversees all of those communities now, and they just run their local events and a networking event each year. And without their help, we wouldn't be able to do it. I would say we have thousands of hours each year. I can't even collect it. We have so many volunteer hours from those committees. And they're made up of, by the way, they're made up of primarily small business owners and then staff that work at large, maybe mid-sized businesses like banks and real estate agencies, insurance agencies, and the like. So we're very fortunate to have all of those dedicated people throughout the community. Here's an example of one of our promotion committees. This is the Ithaca Promotion Committee. They, like I said, they do promotion of Ithaca businesses through events. Well, they've been doing a lot of good work reimagining events. That's a lot of what I have to do is get those, instead of just, because they're volunteers, they don't want to go off course. They want to be as efficient as possible. So it's my job to challenge them to reimagine how to make events better, or if event is worth having even, which is, usually well received, because everybody wants to have, nobody wants to see a community event die, whether it's a block party or a food festival or whatever. And so, people really want to bring in those new ideas to make things happen, even though it can be a real big hassle for volunteers. Then we have regular meetings for our members, and just some of the things that we do. I mean, they had a huge Christmas parade this year, block parties, craft sales, even our golf outing is a great, in that community, there's a great opportunity to engage as part of mission. So, and then we do a call to action too for it. So if you're a chamber member in Ithaca, you can go to all of the promotion committees within our chamber here. So we encourage community development also. As I said before, an attractive community to live is an attractive community to do business in. And I put an asterisk there because I had an undergraduate degree in English, and I know that that's not grammatically correct, but it makes more of an impact to say that in which to. So I wanted to let you all know that I'm not a poor writer. It's just it makes a better impact that way. With an attractive community makes it easier to attract new customers to stores, makes it easier to promote your services to as a service provider, maybe bringing in clients for manufacturing or so on, or even if you're a college or a university, and you're trying to make an impact to bring in prospective students, or, and also it makes it easier to attract employees. Like I said, we deal with a lot of drain to the coast. We have a hard time bringing in employees from existing areas as well, just being a rural community and not having the services. And so I know like the hospital in Avalon and Tahoe pontoons, especially, they and other medical services as well, they have a hard time. And we are doing a lot of our programs, and a lot of our upcoming programs are designed to help with that issue as part of their aim. Give you an example of how we do community building. So Alma College is going to be my example. They've always, from when I came in, everybody told me that Alma College was, for traditionally, within the history of their college, was a campus amongst itself. Students rarely, if ever, went downtown and participated in events or ate at local restaurants. And just like I said, little downtown interaction. But for them, though, they started to realize that the community coming in is a selling point for prospective students. I mean, especially now, they're more than ever, if undergraduate institutions are fighting for freshmen to come in. And so our downtown district leads right into their community campus. And they realize that there are a lot of storefronts downtown. You can see here on the left, that's the Opera House building, boarded up windows. Those stores were there before. That was right before there was a fire that tore through the building in 2012. You can see what happened after. I mean, it was boarded up for 8 years, I believe, 6 or 8 years before. It was 6 years. I'm sorry, before the campus realized that they need to have an anchor in downtown to help rise the waters for all the businesses down there. And so they bought the Opera House and started to do a restoration project. They invested $6 million. They utilized our local economic development corporation. They utilized a very eager and willing city and county government who wanted to work with them, and state government as well. They received state historic preservation funds, and as a result, they put 40 apartments for student housing downtown. In the heart of our downtown district. They opened up retail and restaurant space, including an esports arena in our little rural community. I was blown away that this was a target for them, but because they had an esports team, one of the first esports team in the Midwest region that provided scholarships for their student athletes, they needed a proper place to game, and this restaurant space called Blockhouse was the place for them to do it. So they actually they have rented time at the restaurant, which helps subsidize the restaurant as it got on its feet. And then they're going to bring in a fine dining restaurant here in the next year or two. I believe they're in contract negotiations now, which is something we don't have. If you're a manufacturer and you want to bring in somebody from out of state or out of the country, you want to showcase the opportunities here to do business with them, we got an Italian place to bring them, and then a whole bunch of burger and sandwich places, and that's really it. And so to have a place to showcase and bring potential clients is something that we desperately needed, and Alma College will provide here for us. Oh, by the way, bottom right hand corner, you can see the two owners on either side of our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, because the state provided a lot of economic development funding for this project. So where does the chamber come in? You didn't hear me mention the chamber in any of that. Well, so once they set up, that's when we start to engage. We brought in events aimed at engaging the new community members, helping them, our students downtown specifically, and helping them get acquainted with our businesses. We're working right now and have been working with the Alma College to promote their Chamber Bucks program, or not Chamber Bucks program, their Food Bucks program, which allows them to use their food spending money off campus, which has been fantastic. I'm working with their honors program now to help them expand those services as well. We've run events downtown that we hope, now that we have a new community, we're trying to engage them at things that would interest them. So we had Alma Alive. We were able to bring 4,000 people to downtown Alma, which is fantastic. It's such a, it's an accomplishment. I will trumpet to the day I die. That was what a wonderful event that was. And we worked with Alma College to use that event as also as a launching point for Hispanic Heritage Month. So their Department of Inclusion, of Equity and Inclusion, Equality and Inclusion, they worked with us and helped sponsor to bring in bands. We had mariachi bands, we had Hispanic bands, we had music from Puerto Rico as well. We had Spanish dance as well. It was great. It was wonderful to hear in our very rural community a 6-hour block of Hispanic music being played downtown with thousands of people enjoying it, dancing to it, and just having a really good time. We also do things, we also try to bring other events downtown too. This is a farmer's market that in the center of the slide here is a farmer's market that is downtown monthly from May to October, I believe. That falls under the umbrella of the chamber. It's something that college students absolutely love. And it also, because of that energy, it brings in more patrons as well. I mean, the college, once you can start to gather a crowd for an event, the other crowds will follow. Another example, and I'm just going to work from this slide for everything here, is our Alma Arts Corridor. I worked with the Alma Community Arts Center, which is at the corner of this mural here, and before they had this mural, on a placemaking grant through a pitch competition that was hosted by Consumers Energy. And we won second place and $15,000 to be able to do some placemaking downtown. And part of it was utilizing the art center here, and then you can see the Gratiot County Players to the right of it in the picture on the right. They wanted to have an alley that would engage the public, where they could have events and outdoor art exhibits, and so on. And so part of our pitch was to enhance that space. And through that, we developed the concept, through developing our pitch, developed the concept of an arts corridor. You might have heard them in larger communities. I know in Nashville, they have arts corridors. In Fayetteville, they have 7 or 8. In Chicago, I believe. They're more big city concepts. And as I was reading, as I was doing research on the corridor, I said, well, this is an opportunity for us too. We can define our downtown as an arts corridor, write grants to create, to do some placemaking within our community, create these murals, create these, utilize these alleys, and create stages for our community to showcase their talents. And then utilize those artworks, those engagements in art to increase the downtown patronage of our communities. And so right now we're in the strategic development planning phase of our arts corridor. We were able to engage with the Keep Alma Beautiful organization, which is part of Keep America Beautiful, with our city and our interim city manager, with the Alma Community Arts Center, also with members of our city's commission, and then the Economic Development Corporation here in the county, and the chamber as well. And actually tomorrow night is our first planning session. I'm really excited about. Oh, and Alma College too, they're leading the strategic planning. And so to be able to utilize them as a resource is fantastic. But like I said, our hope is to become an attraction. We are not, when you see Pure Michigan advertisements, they don't normally film in Alma, Michigan. We're in the middle of, we're in agriculture, we're in industry, but we're not on the coast, we're not in the forest. And so you don't hear Tim Allen speaking about us too often. So we're trying to create excitement. We're trying to utilize our resources here through our volunteers, through our community, through different community organizations and businesses to be able to create that excitement and tap into the resources to be able to do these things like placemaking and do these events and support these businesses that we need to. So that, I believe, is the end of my time. Did I go way up? No, I was perfect. That was perfect 45 minutes. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope that was linear.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I think now we can open up the floor for questions. People can put them in the chat. or use the Q&A function.
Yeah.
And we could start off with this question. Have you
I'm gonna
noticed,
stop. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
sorry, have you noticed any significant differences between rural Appalachia and the rural Midwest that affect your chamber work?
Well, I would say, that one of the benefits of being in Michigan is, well, I'll go. I can actually. I'm not going back to the slide, but if you look at like the average household income, I mean, there's $11,000 or $12,000 more in terms of average household income around here, which means there. I mean, even though we have higher taxes, I mean, the reality is it's the quality of life is a little better. Sorry. But that has to do with pay. Also, our industries realized, especially during the pandemic, that meeting minimum wage is not sufficient anymore. We have a lot of industries that are fighting for the same workers, and God bless you if you own a restaurant, because you're at the very bottom of the pool of workers there. So wages have gone up significantly, which certainly helps in terms of quality of life. The other differences, I would say, I mean, I think that's a big one. The other thing I would say is that having all the agriculture to help diversify our county's economy is fantastic. I know that there is agriculture in Claiborne, but it's not to the extent that we do it. I mean, right as I got here, they just finished on a $60 million soy processing plant here in the county called Zealand Farm Systems. It's their second one. It's their largest one in Michigan. They're able to process 4 times more than their previous plant, and that means that soy is coming in and going out to the coast. Oh, I got another question. That's good. I was able to drum up something. So that's a big help, and I have to balance those things, because it's such a big, I can't just focus on cities first, or if I do, I have to maintain that, I have to make sure that we maintain a presence in the agricultural communities here.
Great, thank you. So the question that just came in, how do you recruit people who want a change in pace, the small town feel, and who are desirous of starting a small business to this area?
Yeah, so like I said, there are smarter people than me in the county, and first thing I would do is send them to Greater Gratiot Development, depending on the type of business that they wanted to develop. That's really the name of their game. That's, they'll work with small businesses, large industries. The way I tackle that issue is by helping Gratiot County put their best foot forward. Again, an attractive community is an attractive place to do business, and so we will engage with them on that level, whether it's networking events or the events that we hold, being able to promote our community through social media and our website and publications that we do. That's really the nuts and bolts of what I do here. Yeah.
Great. Once businesses come to you for consultations, how open or resistant are they to making changes?
Well, that depends on the person, right? And the personality. I mean, we have all different personalities, just like any other community across the United States and the world. I would say, though, part of the problem I had when I first came in was that I wasn't from this community. Maybe that's something maybe I should have touched on a little more. I'm an outsider. Technically, I'm not from here. I'm from I was born in I was born in New York City. I grew up in Central New York. I lived in 6 other different states before I got here. So I'm absolutely not from here. And so being able to become part of the community was really important at first. Utilizing my board and committee members and volunteers to help me make introductions with businesses was really important, and is important for anybody who's trying to do any business counseling. So I mean, and that's really important. And then the other thing is proof of concept, right? If you're dealing with somebody who's not accepting some of the suggestions you're providing, either I have to either understand that I am not relaying the benefits of those suggested changes, uh, or I don't understand where they're coming from too. Maybe I don't. We serve 315 businesses as of right now for the chamber. That means we're looking at all sorts of different businesses, and I get to learn about them as I deal with them. But for sure, there are a lot of different businesses out there that I still haven't touched on yet, in terms of having a deeper understanding of how they work and how they do business. And so that's always something I have to weigh as I approach business counseling or giving advice to businesses.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So you mentioned how important volunteers are. How do you recruit volunteers? Are they business owners or just townspeople?
Yeah, so there are two ways we recruit volunteers. First are business owners or employees, managers especially, who are interested in being connected to the community, whether it's to develop business connections, or it's to drum up business. They want to get out there and they want to be recognized as members of the community who help driving the community forward. The other way we get volunteers are by people who are inspired by our mission of community and economic development. And we'll have a lot of folks who we'll have a lot of folks who will either through another person's chamber membership because they're just an individual, or through getting an individual chamber we do offer memberships for non-businesses or nonprofits. It's a little less expensive, but you don't get to vote. But the reality is they get to help and be at the forefront of developing a lot of these events. And so that's really the way we do that. And then we showcase our successes to help drum up more volunteers as well. Like I said, Alma Live was a big one for us. When you have 4,000 people come down to visit your community, and you say, "Wow, they're really doing a lot. I wonder how I can participate." That's another way. Oh, the other way I would say, I don't want to. This is a new program through Alma College. They have a Center for Community and College Engagement, and they have developed a program that allows their students to volunteer or become interns with businesses and nonprofits throughout our community. And they're supposed to do a certain number of volunteer hours through their as an undergraduate before they leave. So we are able to utilize those volunteers at a tremendous rate as well to help us accomplish certain things. Like we needed about 100 volunteers for Alma Live, and 35 of them came from sports teams at Alma College, which was really nice. So utilizing that pillar of our community, again, engaging with that college and them wanting to engage with the community, it's a fantastic opportunity for us. I would assume that there's a similar program at Lincoln Memorial. So
Cool, thank you.
yeah.
Another question in the chat. Many people are unaware of how chambers help. What kind of outreach do you do within the community and to people who want to start businesses but don't know how? Is there mentoring?
So we don't do business. Well, yeah, so the Small Business Development Center is essentially the mentoring, the work that they do is the foundation of your business and will help guide you from startup to brick and mortar, and even help find efficiencies in existing businesses. So I really refer to them on that. Though there are opportunities through our networking events, through participating in our community events and our promotional committees, you are engaged with other business owners at different levels of experience and career in their careers. So you're able to a lot of times you're able to add them to your network of peers and pick their brain. Older business owners, I've seen it plenty of times where older business owners provide advice to younger business owners, and then younger business owners providing advice to older business owners, especially as rural counties start to embrace the digital age. Like I said, when I talked about COVID, being able to, I guess one of the biggest ones is running. Have you ever seen those Facebook shops where the business owner is just modeling their clothes like it's QVC? I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but we have a couple of storefronts here that do that so well. They sell all over the world. They have clients from all over the world that tune into their Facebook marketplace shop just to see those videos, and they'll call up or go into their website just like it's QVC, and it's fantastic. And we're able to make those connections there so that other craft businesses, other boutiques are able to do that. So I think that answers your question for you. I didn't get too off topic, did I?
That was great. Thank you. So I think we're running low on time, but is the information on screen the best way to find out more from you and your work?
Yeah, feel free to send me an email or give me a phone call here at the chamber. I'm usually here from, not this week, but most weeks I'm here from 8 o'clock till 4:30, Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, and then 8 o'clock till noon on Friday. But if you send me an email too, I can always catch up with you. And then the other thing I'd say is, I know we've got a lot of, I assume we have a few undergrads, we have a few grad students on with us. One bit of advice I'd give to everybody who's, no matter what line of business or even nonprofit, if you want to go into nonprofit work or government work, one thing I'd like to say to everybody, which is a little off topic, but get involved with things no matter how foolish it makes you feel. Go and join a Rotary Club or join a Kiwanis Club or join when you get out of school, or do it in school too. I don't care. Go and join. Do things that will help you connect to the community, because I was talking about developing a network of peers to help businesses, but that also works for professionals as well. The more involved you are, whether you're employed or unemployed, the more likely are you to be at the forefront and be able to take advantages of opportunities that are going to be there for you. So, try to be out there in the community as best you can without burnout, obviously, experiencing burnout, but try to be out there to be at the forefront of people's minds when they think of opportunities for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and for this presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Amelia. I appreciate it.
Our next